guys? I'm Danny Johnson, CEO at TPP, The Positive Porpoise.
I'm Jason Miller from PHINS TALK SoCal Fan Club.
I'm Scott Howell from Atlanta DolFan Club.
Mark Angelo, NorCal DolFan Club.
And you're listening to Clock Blockers, Miami fans' #1 morning show.
Run it, 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 run it.
Run it, run it, run it. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Good morning, everyone. This is Miami Sports Music Clock Blocker Show early in the morning. Shout out to those who are already here and has been waiting. Chef Jew in the house. What's up, homie? I just got your text. I'm gonna hit you up after this. D-Dub Dialogue, man. What's up, man? Y'all make sure y'all go check him out. He puts out some great Dolphins content as well. Flip side fishing in the house. Man, what happened to Esteban? I thought Esteban would have been present this early. You know, I gotta call Esteban out every morning. Well, I think he might have been in here. He said, "Is it for real? Tua time?" We're gonna talk about that. We're gonna talk about Xavier Howard, and we're gonna talk about so much more. Did my camera just freeze on me? I think my camera froze on me for a little bit there. Y'all give me a second. Let me figure that out. I don't know what just happened, but we definitely don't want any camera freezing. So y'all bear with me one moment. I think we're good now. Hopefully we're good. All right, let me make sure my connection's good. What's up, everybody? Good morning, though. Here we are at Thursday morning, getting the week started off the right way. Well, not started off. We're already at the back end of it. Here comes Finsanity. She had to come in. The only reason she came in here right now is because the Atlanta Hawks won last night. But she don't realize that they're not going to win this series, man. Trae Young ain't putting up no 48 every night. Y'all going to see, man. Y'all going to listen. Y'all going to start listening to me when it comes to basketball, all right? I'm going to have to keep schooling y'all. Just like the big debate yesterday, Rajon Rondo is a Hall of Famer. But we're not going to get back into that because I want to talk about Tua time. This morning, I want to talk about the fact that Tua has his peers raving about him, and that's a good thing. And we're going to break that down, man. Hate to say it, but the name is lame. Fins up, remove the blocks. Man, listen, man, it's all about support, Agent Smith. Bucks in 5. I got Bucks in 6, actually. And I got Clippers in 7 now. I had Clippers in 5, but you know, they always do it the hard way. Lose 2, come back and win the series. But anywho, man, I'm trying, y'all still bear with me. I'm trying to fix this little lag that I have going on. I haven't had a lag once in the morning. Now all of a sudden I'm freezing up a little. Plus I'm sharing a link so that everybody will know that we're live right now. So y'all give me one moment. Paste. All right, I think we're good. I think we're good to go. All right, and I'm gonna drop the link earlier today, just in case anybody wants to come in and add their 2 cents to the matter on Tua Tagovailoa. So anyway, without further ado, let's go ahead and dive right in, ladies and gentlemen. Listen, yesterday the article came out basically that there were players who are actually raving about Tua, that they see his growth and they have a renewed confidence. I'm trying to find the quotes that were said, but a few of the players, I guess, said that they could really notice the improvement, and he is literally going to be really good this year. And you know, the reason why I thought that was important because okay, they're saying that to support him. You know, you could take that negative approach, but I don't think that they're just saying it to support him. And here's why: because, like I said yesterday, they could have did the same thing last year and they didn't. They could have did the same thing last year and they didn't. And they literally there were too many negative rumors coming out of the organization last year. There were players, well, I just don't think he has it. You know, I don't understand why Fitz isn't starting. All of that. There were players last year that were saying those things. Make sure I get my color right. There were players saying that. There were players saying that last year, and this year that just changes. I like that, because you need the confidence of your team behind you. You need the confidence. You need them to believe in you for them to play hard for you. Carlos said, I don't know, TD. If you're wrong on both NBA conference finals, it won't be a good look on your expertise in the matter. Just saying, LOL. Time will tell. Time will tell. It always does. Time always tells. And I'm not worried about it. No, I'm sorry, y'all. Y'all got to bear with me for 1 second because I don't like these lags. I don't live off of these lags. And I got to see what's going on real fast. Y'all bear with me. Let me see. If it lags again, I'm going to disconnect the camera and reconnect. I don't know what's going on. I don't like that mess. But anyway, back at it, man. Time will tell. I'm not going to be wrong in that matter. I'm not going to be wrong. All right. You'll see. But anywho, but yeah, back to the Miami Dolphins. That's a good sign for Tua Tagovailoa. Now, at the end of the day, we can keep talking about Tua. We can keep on, man. We hope, man, he needs to do this. He needs to do that. Man, we just need it to happen, man. At the end of the day, we all want to win. But it's kind of crazy that we're kind of relying on this kid because if he doesn't play well, then it doesn't matter how good of a team that we built. We'll be good enough to lose in the first rounds of a playoff. And I don't want that. I want to see his game polished, refined, us out there moving that ball and just destroying teams. That's what I want to see. All right. I heard something like that about Rosen last year. Well, I can't. You know what, Agent Smith? All right, you're right. Dang, you got me there. Here I am feeling all positive about Tua, that the teammates, blah, blah, blah. But you're right. We heard the same thing about Rosen. Rosen's made drastic improvements. Even the coach. Now, that's the funny thing. Even the coaches came out. We gave him a list of things he needed to improve. He's done those, and he's going to have every opportunity to compete for the starting job. And, we see the improvement. They said that about Rosen last also. You're right. You are right. And what ended up happening with that? They end up cutting this man. And they were lying to us the whole time. So, man, you got me on that one. You got me. But I'm still going to believe in Tua because Tua and Rosen are two different situations. I see an abundance of talent in Tua that I didn't see in Rosen. Rosen is a guy that I still don't think should have been given up on. Development should have been the priority. But I see a lot more from Tua in that regard. So there you have it. See, here we go. I done froze again. Y'all bear with me. I'm still here, y'all. I just got to get this plugged in. Hopefully that fixes it. If it doesn't, I'm sorry, y'all. I'll have it fixed later when I stream. But, man, I can't deal with those lags. Let's see what y'all had to say. But in Tua, I will trust. I'm with you, man. I'm with you. Morning, TD and chat. Fins up. We do have one of the better backups in Brissett. That's true. I like Jacoby Brissett. Not crazy about him, but I like Jacoby Brissett. I think he brings the element, not like Ryan Fitzpatrick, but, close enough, so, and he's a backup. So that's what you want in your backup. All right. I still think Rosen will have his day as a productive starter. Time will tell. I don't know. All right. The biggest impact to the Fins' success is the offensive line. The O-line will determine if the Fins win 9 games or 11 or greater than 11. Well, I agree with that too. But here's the deal, D-Dub. That's why, there's no perfect solution. Even if the O-line plays average, there's going to be times where it breaks down. Every quarterback has a breaks down with their O-line. And our QB still has to be able to handle that. You're not going to have a perfect situation. We love to, but things aren't going to always be perfect. So time will tell. We shall see. All right. Good morning, Esteban. Sup, Fins fans. Gonna be a good year. Now, another thing in Dolphins Nation, man, a lot of this talk is about, Xavier Howard and all these trade proposals. I've heard a few, and every single one of them sounds great, but I just don't think they're realistic. And then the report came out yesterday that Xavier Howard is expected to dig in and take this well past August if necessary. We're in a tough situation because he might have to dig in and we might have to let him. He may have to dig in and we might have to allow him to dig in. Why? Because I just personally don't think his trade value, like what people would give up, is there. I mean, Miami would be crazy to give up a fourth rounder for Xavier Howard and just call it a day because he's disgruntled. They'll be crazy to give up a third. They'd be crazy, in my opinion. Well, I mean, it's close, but a second, I still wouldn't do it. You want to get that first round pick and maybe a little more. And I don't know if you can get it in today's world. There's been a lot of speculations out there. Washington has been a team that has been, rumored to give a first and a third, different things like that. But a deal hasn't been done because I know if Greer got called with a deal like that right now, I'm sure he'd take it right away. Especially with the situation being what it is. Greer would take a first and a little extra pick in a heartbeat, in my opinion. I'm not Greer, but I think he should. And I don't think he's getting those type of offers, though. So if the value doesn't match, we're going to have a guy who's disgruntled, potentially sitting out and holding out. But I am telling y'all, I know it doesn't look pretty, but that's the type of person I am. Go ahead and let him sit out. If he don't show up, you're not paying the salary, and whatever salary you're not paying, kick over to next year's salary cap. You got more money. Let this man sit out. Play the game. I guarantee you by week 5, he'll be showing up. Xavier Howard reports to the facilities week 5. It makes absolutely no sense for him to miss out on the money when, as soon as the season starts, if he reports, he's going to get his money. He's on the team. He's on the team. I think that's what happens. He shows up week 5 if you sit out, and then we keep moving forward and let him play that game next year when his stock is a little lower. I don't care if he has 10 more picks. His stock is still lower because you're another year aged. Tell you, his value will never be more than it is right now. It just won't. He can have 10 picks next year, and it won't be as valuable as his value is today. He just had 10 picks. Yeah, but he's 29 now. That's what you can be saying next year. Who's going to give him a 4 or 5 year deal? Somebody will do it, but it's just not likely. They're not going to do it at the expense of, multiple first round picks or nothing like that. So that's the situation you'd be dealing with. All right. Also, the news on Albert Wilson. What do y'all? I'm just curious. What do y'all think about the Albert Wilson? Being flexed out on the outside, playing a lot of reps on the outside as well. That was interesting to hear because I really do think that just simply means. It simply means that there are some guys whose days are numbered. I'm about to drop the link. I want to hear, see what some of you all have to say. If anybody want to join the morning show, have a conversation, ask questions, get my thoughts, or talk about things Miami Dolphins related, or even NBA conference finals. It's a lot of that going on, and there's some great stuff happening I know a lot of people are all up and like, yeah, look at Atlanta. It's not going to happen, ladies and gentlemen. Atlanta will not win the series, and the Clippers will win their series. Time will tell, and I'm telling you that's what's going to happen. What's up, EM? I see you in the building once again. Rondo is going to the Hall of Fame, man. Get over it. He going to the Hall of Fame. You got to get over it, man. See here. Love it. X for Ezekiel. Even Steven. X for Ezekiel, even Steven. What do y'all think about that? Because that's quite interesting to me. X for Ezekiel Elliott, is that something you would do? I personally feel like Xavier Howard is more valuable than Ezekiel Elliott. That's how I feel. What's up, Esteban?
Hey, what's going on, TD? Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. What's the business?
What's going on? After quite a few days of some medication, I'm back.
You good now?
You know, pretty much, man. I still got a couple of more things to go through, but it's getting better.
That's what's up, man.
Man, Dwayne, you need to stop doing all that drinking, bro.
Oh, man.
Hangovers,
I wish it would have been the drinking, but it wasn't. I can't blame it on the alcohol this time, bro.
Hey, let me ask you guys though, what are your thoughts on X for Ezekiel Elliott?
If it was the Zeke of 3 years ago, maybe, but I think too much time, and I don't think Zeke's attitude, and I'm not saying he's got a bad attitude, but just his overall attitude about his importance to the team, I don't think that it's a good Flores fit.
Yeah, to me,
and when's the last time? I don't think he catches a lot of balls out of the backfield either.
He has a high completion percentage though, out of the backfield. I think he's running about 76%. But if the percentage is there, then to me it's just a matter of how much they utilize him in that role.
And is he going to be willing to do that? It take less carries for more receptions. You know, that's what I'm talking about. His attitude, not that I'm trying to say that he's a bad team player or anything, but a new role. How willing is he to accept the new role?
Well, here's the deal. I don't think the Cowboys do it anyway, and here's why. Now, y'all remember Jerry Jones has a philosophy, you know, it doesn't matter the running back. I can get a Mack truck to run through this line. And he's been right on multiple occasions, switching out good running backs and bringing the next guy in, and they be successful behind that line. But one could argue the reason why he didn't do it this time and actually gave Ezekiel Elliott the deal is because he doesn't have the same line anymore.
Well,
yeah, I think that had a lot to do with his decrease in positive, I guess what you'd call like the positive side of his game. We still have a question mark on our offense. I'd rather just continue what we're doing with the guys that we got, Gaskins and Ahmed. If he should make the team, but they're similar. Zeke's not that big. And if our biggest question mark is our offense right now. Still, that's what we have to go off of. What happened last year? I think right now, as it stands, we're a pass first team, and it sucks to say that. I hope that it turns into a team that begins to start out with running the ball at some point during the season, hopefully early. But that's where we're at. And if you sign a guy like that, he's gonna get a workload. And then if he don't perform, nah, bro, I'd rather just roll with X. I really would, man. I mean, I like Zeke, man, but I just don't think.
Do you think that Zeke is gonna? Do you think that Zeke is gonna be happy with a run the ball committee. I mean, he's always been the number one guy, the bell cow guy in Dallas. I know they've had times where they've needed to replace him and bring somebody in for periods of time during his holdouts. But when he's on the roster, he's always been the one to get the majority of the snaps. So is he going to be willing to share snaps with, or a larger share of snaps than he did in Dallas with Ahmed, Gaskins, Malcolm Brown, or whoever's still on the roster?
I agree.
That's the thing as well.
What do you think about that though, TD? I really think that our offense is still a question mark as far as like they're young. You know, I'm not saying that I don't believe in them. I'm just saying that the continuity they got to build to be better is we haven't seen it. You know what I mean? I just that's my biggest concern when you talk about bringing in somebody like Zeke. It had to be somebody else, in my opinion, man. Just
wait. What's wrong with this? Go ahead, Esteban.
Yeah, man. I don't believe his style suits us right now. You know what I mean? Right now it doesn't. Who knows? We might look better, you know, after game 3 or game 2. Who knows? But right now, man, I mean, who knows what we look like? I don't know, man. The coaching staff has to get these guys positioned correctly. You know, Hunt was out of position last year. He should have been a guard. Jesse Davis, when he played at the guard's position, he looked like he was out of position. I'd rather have him at right tackle starting out the season. I'm not saying I don't believe in Eichenberg or Eichenberg, but I just, you know, he's a rookie. He's going to have that learning curve. So I'm not confident in him starting out the season. So I just feel like we have a solid team. If we're going to have a solid run game, as long as the coaching staff gets it right to start off game 1. You know what I mean? I think it took us a couple of games before we figured it out last year. So hopefully they hit the ground running this year, man. If they do, then Zeke's a possibility.
Here's my issue with it. From a running back standpoint, first off, we don't know how the line's going to do in run blocking. Our offensive line is so unproven when it comes to run blocking. You know, we talk about how much we've improved in pass protection last year, which was a whole lot better than what we came from. But the run blocking, we have done nothing well in run blocking. All the success that we've had in the run game was schematic, because a lot of it was out of the halfback draw and different things like that in passing situations, you know, handing it off to Ahmed or Myles Gaskins when we didn't load the box. So I don't know how this O-line would be, and I'd hate to bring in a premier running back and still have offensive line issues. But the flip side of that is this. I hate to bring in a premier running back and have a great offensive line. Why would I say such a thing? Because you will never know what you have currently. People are judging Ahmed and Gaskins. Oh, yeah, we got those guys, but, you know, they're not the best of the best. But you don't know what they would be behind a elite offensive line. You know, imagine having an elite O-line and all of a sudden Gaskins gives you 1,400 yards. Just imagine that. And that's what I don't like, is the fact that we play these games where, no, you need the elite bat, but you don't know what you already have because they don't have a great line in front of them. I mean, look at Ezekiel Elliott last year. The man played 15 games. He only missed 1 game, y'all. And the man didn't get 1,000 yards last year. Riddle me that. Somebody riddle me that. Why wouldn't this man get over 1,000 yards last year and he played 15 games?
That's because the Dallas Cowboys were enamored with the pass.
But
they
didn't. I agree. But once again, that's the point that I'm making, is the fact that based off of the situation, it can make your player look one way when they're actually another. We know he's a premier back. But you wouldn't imagine him getting only 900 and something yards in a season where he plays 95% of the games, you know? And so, and that's the whole thing. We threw the ball 60% of the time.
Well, you got to look at it this way, TD. And we're talking about the Dallas Cowboys now. They played a lot of games behind.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're behind, what don't you do? You don't run the ball as much. So that's probably one of the reasons why his stats were off a bit. Another reason is because when you are running, when you do run the ball, right, and you don't have your starting quarterback, what do teams normally do? They stack the box more because they know you want to run to get you out of that and put the game in a quarterback's hand that is not the starting quarterback, i.e. Andy Dalton. So that could be one of the reasons why they had
less production,
had some problems. Yep, running the ball.
Everything you just said applies to the Miami Dolphins and a guy is like Myles Gaskins as well. Did they not stack the box on us in a lot of cases?
Yeah, I mean, that's why I said I believe we're a pass first offense right now, and I believe that's what we'll start out with game one. I don't think that we're gonna, I'm hoping that we don't stay that way. But Gaskins, in all honesty, like I wanted a running back bad in this draft, but Gaskins fits our offense. He does. He's what we need. Like, it isn't, it's not a sexy take, but he is. Him and Augment fit our offense perfect. You know what I mean? Them guys that you can just opt out of a play and give them a draw. They're those guys, man. These are the kind of running backs you need for this offense. If we're going to be a pass first offense, look at all the wide receivers we're going to have this year.
Yeah,
we're going to be spread out. So you don't really need a premier back like Ezekiel Elliott in this offense. The goal would be to sign X. It's worth thinking about, but I wouldn't do it, man. I think we're fine with what we got, man. I think he's got to be a priority at some point. They got to get.
Okay, he's a priority, Esteban. Are you paying him $18 million a year?
No.
So we can say priority all we want. Yeah. If Greer is going to the table saying, in which I don't like, but even if Greer's going to the table saying I'll give you 16, whatever, and we're getting no's, he wants 18. Then what do we do with X?
Here's the thing. I would, but we drafted a guy in the first round at that position. What are you going to do with that guy? You're going to leave him on the bench? Like, it doesn't make any sense. He's got to play at some point. You have to get an investment from Iggy. You have to.
Yeah, of course you do. But sometimes you want to have, you want to have a guy like X on the roster while monogamy develops. That's the goal. You want to let him play behind a guy for a year or two before you move on. And that was the goal.
The thing is, maybe the Dolphins and Greer missed their opportunity to trade X last year. They probably weren't even planning on him being on the roster this year. And that's why, you have this glut at the cornerback position, because if they really were thinking of having X, would they have signed Coleman? So would they probably thought that they would have been able to trade for Deshaun Watson this offseason.
I am telling you, Dwayne,
I know it was all in the works and agreed upon until all the stuff came out with Deshaun Watson. But that's why you now have this situation with X, because they weren't planning on having him on the roster right at this point in time. But he's here. What do you get for him? Or do you hold? Or do you stand fast, have a holdout, and deal with that situation?
there was some good boundary corners in this draft. You had J.C. Horn, you had Farley, you had Sertan. All I'm saying is I agree with what Dwayne's saying, but you also had first and second opportunities to get rid of the guy.
Well,
You
I
could
don't.
have they could have been that they possibly fumbled the ball and didn't trade him before the draft to be able to get
Well,
one of the young guys.
I don't know if I agree with that because you just mentioned some guys that were available. Name them again, Esteban.
J.C. Horn.
Where was he drafted at? Where was he drafted?
J.C. Horn was a top 15 pick.
Okay. And
That was a top 10 pick.
was J.C. Horn on the board for us?
To Tennessee.
But that's my point. Was J.C. Horn on the board for us?
If you make a trade with the team that's in the top 10, you could have drafted him.
Well, we don't know. We don't know. Maybe they tried to, but again, what would you have traded? Do you think they felt their priority was another corner or a defensive end like Jalen Phillips?
Well, I believe that had to have been a priority because you saw how successful our scheme was with two lockdown corners. And why wouldn't you want to continue doing that for the foreseeable future?
Because you still have Xavier Howard under contract and you're fine moving forward with him on his current contract. The number one, the bigger priority was a defensive end. You had already released Shaq Lawson and Calvin Oy.
Right, no, you're correct. You're correct. But where I wanted, look, I'll just be transparent. When I wanted to move off of Exodus, you had that panel. There was that issue that happened with his agent when they right after that panel ended. I was talking with him and I told him, bro, I would just move off of him now, just cut your losses now. Make a trade with somebody like Dallas because they're in the top 10 because they're a cornerback needy team.
Yeah, I was beating on the table for it.
And you'll be in position to get one of these top cornerbacks, and you can continue what you wanted to do for the foreseeable future. I mean, you know what I mean? X is a great player, but off the field issues and injuries. I mean, come on, man. You know what I mean?
Okay. I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but I gotta keep it 100 real quick. This is the type of stuff that really angers me really bad. 365 days ago, Esteban and D-Dub, y'all know me very well. Y'all have been rocking with me for the longest, right? Yep. 365 days ago, what was I beating the table for? And I kept getting killed about it because I knew a situation like this was going to happen eventually.
Trey, you were getting beat for wanting to trade X.
I'll be honest, bro. Like I view the team. I'm not a homer, bro, and I want what's best for the team. And I wouldn't have given you any pushback on that. Plus,
but you witnessed it. You witnessed in droves in a huge amount.
I know
how much pushback there was, and then on top of the pushback, people told me, "Bro, you're fake news. This man never even This man never asked for more money. There's no conversations that he wants more money. You're just trying to start drama in the community." Now look at us.
No, you have to. No, that's for one. That's wrong, and it's proven to be wrong now, and it's I mean very wrong, but. My perspective when it comes to that kind of stuff is you gotta provide every angle, like all the possibilities. That's all you're doing. And the second, like, you know, when you bring up situations like that, when you have in the past, I don't see why people haven't learned by now that that's kind of something that. And I mean, I'm not trying to sit here and it's just, I'm just being honest. You've been accurate about a lot of that stuff. Certain possibilities, and then what ends up happening, it ends up coming through, man. I mean, like what happened with Tunsil and a lot of those off-season moves that we made when we let a lot of them guys go and we had that team with Tunsil. I think what was the linebacker's name? Kiko Alonso. Think about that one as well. You gotta go through all the possibilities. You look at where the team's at financially, and that's how you draw a lot of those conclusions. I'm sure it's how you do it.
Exactly. I'm just looking at the facts of the matter, looking at their contract, what makes sense, what doesn't make sense. But EM makes a good point, and I'm glad you're trying to prove me wrong, EM, because you're making an even stronger point for me. EM said no, TD. You said trade him in 2019. You're right. Last year, I was beating all over the table about it, but you're right. In 2019, I was saying trade X. Why was I saying trade X? Because he was fresh off of 7 interceptions, and the man was like 25 years old. If you really want to be honest, that was the highest value you would have ever gotten for X. 25 years old, 7 picks. That was the moment. I knew that going through a rebuild, all we would do was take away 3 years of his prime. And on top of that, he would not, there was a great chance he wouldn't be here for the Super Bowl. And now here we are 2 years later, and we're having a real conversation about it. What did we get out of him the last 2 years? An injury and 10 picks that didn't even amount to the playoffs? So that's why in 2019, the writing was on the wall when we start trading everybody. You want to send this guy through the rebuild and use the best years of his career? Go get your draft capital now. But we didn't. And all we did is gave the fans something to be happy about that amounted to nothing. And now we're really on the precipice of potentially trading him for real, for real.
That's debatable. I see that, but I think what Ian's talking about is when you guys were talking about the timing of the trade. You mentioned 2019, and I remember Ian said something like, "Wait till after next year." So because didn't he have didn't he miss some games?
He got hurt.
Yeah, I mean it's kind of vague because this was a long time ago when we talked about this. But from what I remember, I think it was him and possibly Ballgame were saying, wait till this year, 2020, let him get his value up and then trade him. I'm not saying either one of you guys is right, but it is debatable on when he could have traded him. The fact of the matter is, if you would have traded him in either window, it would have been a good trade. You would have got something of value, and now I just don't see us getting much.
But now we're in the third window after a 10-pick season, and it's going to be hard to find a trade partner. Hopefully Greer can get something done. Hopefully he finds that partner and he pulls the trigger, or Xavier Howard just, he takes the $16 million or whatever Greer's offering. But I know Greer ain't offering what they asking for, and the two sides are far apart. I'm telling y'all, mark my words. I'm saying 18, but I promise y'all X think that number is 20.
Hey, TD, you brought up on this stream and a previous stream this week about the significance of Albert Wilson being utilized at the boundary.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that opens up the possibility of a possible trade of either DVP or Preston Williams.
Mm-hmm.
Because
exactly. Well, Preston, I don't know. The value and the cost is worth keeping.
Yeah, I mean, I think some of these decisions are going to be based also on the salary cap, because if you can utilize Wilson both in the slot and the boundary, and you know that he's healthy, strong, he missed games in one season. He took off last year, but he hasn't had any significant injuries, like an injury pattern. He missed significant portions of 1 year. Meanwhile, you got DVP, who has missed significant portions of multiple seasons. You might see DVP get traded and packaged with Gesicki. I've always thought
Parker has value.
Yeah. I mean, because he's played the number one slot boundary position. He's young. He's 28, 27, 28. And if you can trade him, package him with a Gesicki for a backup center or inside linebacker, you know, that could be something that could be utilized well by the team.
Listen, man, but this is what I brought up the other day, Dwayne. The Dolphins are in a good situation where we could survive without Parker. We could survive without Gesicki. And I'm telling y'all, Noah, Coleman, all of these guys, we will be okay without X, man. But if our offense takes the next step.
Well, that offense is dependent. The offense taking the next step is dependent on how well the O-line in whatever formation it is, how it does. I mean, because Tua's success is based on offensive line. The running back success is based on the offensive line. The wide receiver success is based on the offensive line. Everything is based on that offensive line. They need to be developing a communication system and developing those run blocking talents, as well as building upon what they had last year with the pass protection in order for every other asset of that offense to be successful, to get to where we want to be.
But will it happen? But I think that the defense will be improved even more. The run game, run defense is going to be even better. We don't even have to make the biggest leaps and bounds on the offense. But if Xavier Howard is traded, then I think the offense definitely needs to make a much better improvement. But again, I know we keep talking about offensive line, but I just still feel like at the end of the day, it's the quarterback position. And let me tell you why I say that. There are some quarterbacks that would be just fine or great with this offensive line. There are some quarterbacks that, like Tua, that needs this offensive line to be great for him to be great. That's all I'm saying. There are quarterbacks who can actually play well and operate behind an average O-line. And I feel like for Tua, they have to be better than average for him to have some success. So,
well, and that's because he's younger. As he gets more time, the things that he's leaning on or will be leaning on the offensive line will lessen, and it'll be more reliant on his expertise and knowledge. But right now, the offensive line needs to do whatever it needs to do to be successful, for the team to be successful. And you're right, in essence, he's leaning more now on the offensive line. Okay, fine. But again, as time goes on, it will be more on Tua's skill set rather than the O-line, even though the O-line still will be important, but not as important this particular year. This year, he's going to be more dependent upon the offensive line than any time in the future, because he will get more experience and develop his skill sets to where he's less dependent on the overall success of the O-line. That doesn't mean the O-line doesn't have to be successful, but is less successful. I mean, offensive line was important for Brady and Peyton Manning and Aaron Rodgers, but as their skills develop more, those skills to come out were less dependent upon the O-line and more on the quarterback. This year, it's more of like the scales are balanced where they both need each other. But
we hope they do. We hope they do.
Yeah.
See, that's the whole thing. See, when it comes down to it, we hope it ends up that way. We might look up and be like, "Oh my gosh, this offensive line." Oh my, see that, and that's why I'm one of those guys who say package all of these guys we're having problems with, except Emmanuel Ogbah, and go get Aaron Rodgers and let Tua sit back and continue to develop while this O-line continues to get better, because Rodgers can navigate through this O-line even if it's average. and still get the max out of this defense. Well, my biggest fear is we are going to get to a point to where we outlive our defense. Even though we should continue to improve it every year, but you have stages. And right now, this defense is ready to take you on a contender run. This defense is ready to take you on a run that's a contender. And with the right offense, we're right there. We're right there.
Well, that's true. The offense is more dependent on the defense right now, or to say it in a better way, the defense is stronger right now than the offense.
Mm-hmm.
But you're hoping that the O-line takes a step forward to do better, so that the gap between the offense and the defense is decreased.
I agree. Somebody wrote Tua has some pretty good escape ability at 60% health. Then who knows? I agree with that, but the escape ability was 90% of those escapes were him running the ball. We're talking about an Aaron Rodgers who has the escape ability to throw the ball. You know, we're talking about the guy who escapes the pressure and he's the 70 yards down the field for the completion, 40 yards down the field for the completion. That's the piece. When Tua escaped, he did an excellent job, but he ran with it. And when he did escape and throw the ball on the run, he didn't do as well. He missed a lot of targets escaping and throwing the ball. So that's again, he's not a finished product. He has to continue to develop, and he will be there. I believe he will be there. But again, I'm that person that told y'all I think Tua is a 2022 guy. Next year is his come out party. The accolades, the just, oh my gosh, he's arrived. I've always said that.
Well,
EM said, TD, we saw him do that as well. Yeah, we saw it 2-3 times. But let's call it how it is, EM. He missed a lot of those. He didn't even find the open person when he got out in a lot of cases. I mean, let's be honest here. This ain't slander of Tua. Hey, he's young. He ain't expected to right now. But let's not make it seem like his escapability and throwing out of that was like, oh my gosh. No, his escapability and running was, oh my gosh. I'm happy about that. But no, his throwing after escaping, you saw a handful of plays. That's where I'm at with it, man. I just think that this team, we could do something special if we had the right people in place right now. And instead, we got the right people to hope for in place right now. Go ahead. Come on, EM. You know the deal. Ain't nobody running from you. Ain't nobody running from you.
Man, I just wanted to backtrack a little bit. When you were talking about getting rid of Parker and X and Gesicki, I think the one guy I wouldn't get rid of would probably be Parker, bro. He was our most consistent receiver, bro.
Okay.
And it just has to do with his injury history and Preston's. If one of them goes down, you have one of them on reserve, you know?
Yeah, but here's what I don't like about that. You know, we say Parker was our most consistent receiver. He was our most consistent receiver because he got majority of the targets after everybody else went down. And on top of it, before he went down, Preston was blowing him out of the water. Preston was taken off from a statistical standpoint. Preston was the target. Preston was the guy that was eating before he got hurt. So, and then when Preston got hurt, that's when Parker's game picked up. And another thing about Parker's game, let's be honest, more than half of his throws were all 50-50 balls. They were like intentionally underthrown so he could high point it. But none of it is in the flow of the game, running routes, beating your man. I mean, some of it is, but y'all get my point. It's not like we saw a high clip of Parker just burning people and catching it. And no, we just didn't.
Okay, let's say Preston goes down. Who are you going to put out at boundary, bro, that has size?
Say that again.
I said, if Preston goes down, who are you going to put at boundary that has size?
That's why you have the speed. Why do we keep thinking that size is the biggest factor when in reality speed is? We got to get separation. Size was always a factor so that we could get the 50-50 balls because we got no separation.
But that's not always the case, bro, because when you're inside the red zone, the field is condensed. You need guys that are leapers that have size, or you have to have some.
Yes, of course you're going to want a few threats on the outside, but that's why you got guys like Hollins and things like that, specialists. This is what you bring them in for.
Right. Which is one of the guys that I mentioned, but I'm okay. Are you comfortable with him or Kurt Murray? Because I think Kurt Murray's 6 foot. And is he like a traditional boundary receiver?
Yeah, if he makes the team.
Okay, well then, in that case, we have to see you getting rid of him. But I don't know, bro. Like when you talk about jump balls, like you still got to catch the ball, though, bro. I give Parker credit, man. I do give him credit for a lot of them jump balls, though, bro.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm giving him credit, but you have to understand in the context in which it came. You don't want to have to rely on that to be your answer. And also, how was Parker in the red zone? How was Parker in the red zone? Well, we weren't even flexing him out there. We were putting Gesicki out there, and Hollins actually caught that beautiful teardrop out wide by Tua on the right side.
Well, these things are true, but you would like to have him as an option, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you never can have enough. I'm with it.
Parker helps, even if you don't throw him the ball in the red zone, he still helps out with taking guys off of the your speedy receivers or anybody else that you want to throw the ball to in the red zone, whether it's a tight end or somebody coming across on a slant.
There's a lot of guys that I think we underrate their abilities on this roster because their name isn't as popular as guys like Parker. I mean, we gotta. It's that next man up mentality. Sometimes it's next man up era. We need to start relying on guys like Mac Hollins and stuff even more. These guys know how to play this game and play that position as well. It's just that they don't get as many reps because of the guys that's in front of them. But again, Parker is somebody I wouldn't mind keeping. I'm just saying these are guys who I think that we'd be just fine without.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with you on that next man up mentality, bro, because look at other teams that do it. And I'm not saying, this isn't relevant to the wide receiver position, but why does it happen for other teams and it never happens for us, bro? Why is it that when what's the running back's name that you were trying to sign that went to KC? I keep forgetting his name.
Le'Veon Bell.
Okay, when Le'Veon Bell went down in Pittsburgh, they put Conley in, bro. And he took off for the rest of that season. It was the next man up mentality. I just don't understand why
O-line
for us, bro. That's true though. That is true.
But different factors. That O-line was pretty nice too.
You had. Would you rather hold a player 1 year too late or get rid of him 1 year early?
Early.
Thank you. That may be the case for X, that may be the case for Parker, may be the case for Gesicki, that you're pushing them 1 year early, maximizing their value for what you can get back. And if you think that you can possibly get 2 number ones for a Xavier Howard from a contender, because more than likely anybody who's going to want to trade for him is a contender. You're not getting 2 number ones from that team. So you got to think realistically as to what you can get for an asset like X. And with Gesicki as well, you're not getting, some people I've seen talking about getting a number 1 or number 2. And I'm like, you got to keep dreaming about that, man, because,
Here's what bothers me the most. We keep focusing on players who does one thing very well. We're sitting here talking about Devontae Parker, who he got hands and he high points the ball. He can catch. Is the man getting separation in the open field? Are they putting him in a situation where he's running the entire route tree? Or are we really sitting here glorifying his one-on-one ability? That's what I'm saying. Do you notice what this team is doing? They're shifting to players who can do multiple things. Waddle, run the routes, has hands, has the speed, has the separation ability. Hunter Long, block, better route runner than Gesicki, can catch the ball with the best of them. That's what they're doing. They're moving to guys who can do multiple things. We got to get out of this specialist mentality. Oh, well, nobody's open. Throw it up to Parker for the 50-50. That's some specialist stuff, man. That's some specialist stuff. We need guys who are running deep crossing routes and getting separation, finding the seams in the zone, all that good stuff. I'm tired of the 50-50 guys. Give me the guy that's 75-25 because he just blew his man off the map.
But here's my thing, though, TD. I believe you still need that. You still need one of those guys, even if that's you call how you mentioned, a specialist. That's an imposing ability. You know what I mean? Even if you know I'm going to throw it, I'm still going to catch it.
I get it.
Anytime you can be imposing, you need to have that versatility. Like, his route tree might not be, what Waddle would give you, but I just, man, you can't just move off of guys like that.
He has a lot of value, bro. I get it, Esteban. And don't get me wrong, I'm not sitting here trying to make it seem like Devontae Parker is a slouch. He runs routes well. The comeback routes. He does a lot of good stuff, but he does nothing over the top. And I'm talking about separation on the go. Like, he really does nothing over the top. It's always stop and high point the ball. He's not walking in for touchdowns. Your best of the best receivers are catching the deep ball and running in for the touchdown. Parker doesn't have run-in touchdowns like that. We need a guy who takes the top off. Take it off. Not just on his side of the field. That is the issue. Yeah, he can run the intermediate routes. Yeah, he can get you on the comeback, run the quick dig, run the quick out. But where are the guys who, oh my gosh, he got behind the defense? Not only did he get behind the defense, but he's 8 yards behind the defense. When is the last time we've seen that, y'all, in Miami? Please, I will wait. And that was it. And how long? How long ago have we really seen that productivity? Come on, man. That's what we're missing right now, is the guy who's going to get the wide open deep ball, not because coverage was blown, but because he blew his man off the line of scrimmage and winning 8. It's the truth. What's up, EM?
What's going on, Joe? I had to take me a quick break, bro. I had to come inside and take me a quick break. Look, man, y'all need to stop. TD, you need to stop disrespecting Devontae Parker like that.
How did I disrespect him?
You keep saying, I don't understand why you and others, when y'all, you just label him as a 50-50 ball type wide receiver. Do you realize, TD, you don't realize how difficult that is to win with, in that format, consistently win in this league? Now, yeah. I know Parker, listen. I know Parker, if you want to use the durability knock on him, that's fine. Yeah. But Parker, when healthy, he is a matchup nightmare in this league. Is he the fastest? No. Does he transition the best in and out of his breaks? No. Is every route on a route tree in his game? Maybe not. But the man with his individual skill set has proven to be a big time playmaker in this league. And I don't care how you make plays, as long as you make that play when your number is called. And he's proven to be able to consistently do that in this league. So y'all, I hate that bothers me so much when y'all say this lack of separation. Okay, sure, it's better for the quarterback when they see a wide receiver have a yard of separation, 2 yards of separation, even 5 yards of separation. Sure, it's better. But if you have a proven commodity, okay, that has proven in this league to consistently win in his format, in his own individual format, bro, he's proven to be a big-time playmaker. So this narrative about separation, sure, it helps, but it's not the end-all, be-all, bro. And my knock with Tua last year, when people were saying, I've had this conversation with Reason, with multiple individuals publicly and privately. My issue when it appeared to be people were putting the blame on like Parker, Gesicki, as well as Preston Williams. They were saying this narrative about lack of separation, and they were putting the majority of the blame on them. No, they're the proven commodities. And my whole issue with Tua is that Tua has to acclimate to their skill set. They're different than what he saw. Their skill set are like night and day difference from what he consistently saw at Alabama. But at the end of the day, that was at Alabama. We're in the NFL now, and these guys are the proven commodities. Tua just had to acclimate and figure out and get used to NFL windows as opposed to SEC windows. So listen, Parker is a proven playmaker in this league, bro. Y'all need to stop disrespecting that man. Put a little more respect on that man's name. Now.
Nobody's disrespecting Parker. I think you're missing the message that we're trying to get across. What the Miami Dolphins are trying to move towards is the playmaker that actually see again. I agree with you when you say we at like 50-50 is just easy.
It's
not easy.
You know how difficult to consistently win that way?
I get it. But that's the point. We're not winning that way.
Well,
the difference but we still punt the ball after he get his little 30-yard 50-50 ball. See, that's not all on Devontae Parker. No, it's not on Devontae Parker, but he limits what we can do. The high-flying offenses, EM, are getting touchdowns when their deep threat is winning their battle. We need to stop settling with 50-50 and start looking for 75-25.
Nobody is saying settling, bro. See, the reason why the Dolphins are bringing in and when you're talking about from an offensive standpoint, if you look at the elite offenses, they are like we're gonna highlight Kansas City for a minute. Generally,
who's that 50-50 guy? Who's that 50-50 guy?
It was
no, they don't have a 50-50 guy.
Hey, no, stop. Is it Sammy Watkins was their possession receiver?
See, there you go.
Sammy Watkins. Devontae Parker's not a 50-50 guy. He's a possession receiver as well.
Sammy Watkins get over the top, though. Sammy Watkins be out there wide open.
Parker can't too. Parker can get up and deep.
Then show me.
Show me. San Francisco game.
Get out of here. Show me.
You
just proved my point. You just proved my point. When you can name a specific game, you prove my point. You should be able to say he doesn't consistently. Just go watch the field. But when you can name a specific game, you prove my point.
That's not his game, TD. Nobody is saying Parker.
Exactly. The high-flying offenses don't need 50-50 guys. They get 75-25 guys.
They need a diverse skill set. Look at the St. Louis Rams. Look at the greatest show on turf. They had they had one speed guy with Isaac Bruce. They had the route runner with Torrey Holt, and they had a possession guy with Ricky Pro when they were at their apex. You got to have a diverse from a matchup standpoint, bro. You have to have personnel that present different challenges to defenses. That's why they're bringing in these other guys.
Read the screen. That's all I need. That's all that matters. Read the screen. See, I don't want to hear it. At the end of the day, that's all that matters. We need 75-25 guys. I ain't knocking Parker for what he does and what he brings to a team. I like his talent, but we moving on. Did Tua have in college? Did Tua have 50-50 guys, or did he have a whole bunch of 90-10 guys?
I agree with you, TD. That's what did I just say that? Did I not say that?
So I'm not knocking Parker. What I'm saying for what we're trying to do, he's no longer needed. That's all I'm talking about.
No.
That's all I'm saying here. I'm not knocking his skill. You would love to have guys like that in a crunch time where you need that 50-50. You would love to.
You do. You say you do, TD. You do use that in a negative connotation, bro, when you're talking about Devontae Parker.
I don't.
You and a good portion of our fan base, bro.
That's a lie. I don't
do it every single day on the
stream, bro. No, I don't. That's not true. When I talk about Parker, I talk about he is the guy that we had to rely on for so long. His skill set is what we needed. But right now, bringing in the weapons that we brought in, he's no longer as valued. With what
I disagree. I disagree with that, bro. Because first off, Waddle's done nothing in this league. Waddle could be the second coming of Ted Ginn Jr., bro. You don't know what that man is going to do. He's done nothing in this league.
He could.
Nothing. The only proven guy that they brought in was Will Fuller. To think you just bringing in Jalen Waddle, we don't need Devontae Parker. Stop. That dude is a proven playmaker in this league. No. You have to have, and what the Flores preach week to week, it's all about presenting a different matchup for the opposition. That's what this man lives by. So you have your wide receiver room. You can't have 5 guys that are just speed guys. You have to have a diverse skill set because that puts you in the best position from a matchup standpoint, bro.
And I agree. But all I'm saying is, could our team survive without Devontae Parker and still find success?
Because you got a guy that can play that can take that role from which is Preston Williams.
And
Preston Williams is that possession guy.
Who else?
You have Mike Gesicki. He's a possession guy. Come on, man. Y'all need to stop, bro. Y'all need to stop.
Bro, we didn't do anything. The point that we're making is we could move on from Parker.
You could. And from a finance, with this situation going on with Xavier Howard, Parker's contract, they're able to trade that. They'll get at immediate cap savings. That's the move to make, it appears at this point in time. But my thing is, like I said, bro, y'all just use that. Oh, he's just this. He's just a 50-50 guy.
I just got through saying before you came in, yeah, Parker can run the comeback route. Yeah, he could do the in. Yeah, he could do the out. Yeah, he could do the.
You forgot in 2019 when he ran now 2019 was Defensive Player of the Year in Stephon Gilmore.
Yeah, but
got him twice. What do you mean? Really?
But the passes that we remember most in that matchup
50-50.
were those 50-50 balls.
Go watch the tape. Go watch the
tape. No. I watched the tape. It was 50.
You don't.
It was 50-50 and comeback routes.
No. He was running go routes on Stephon Gilmore. On Stephon Gilmore. That's when I saw the most growth in Parker's game.
But those balls were thrown up. Those balls were thrown up and he caught them at the apex of the pass. And they were downfield, but those were 50-50 balls. It wasn't where he was behind.
Yeah, that's what I'm telling you.
He wasn't behind Gilmore. Gilmore was playing right up on him.
No, it was 2 go routes that he caught on the opening play of the game. He ran right by Stephon Gilmore. The opening play of the game for a 30-yard game. Ran right by him. He tried to jam him at the line of scrimmage. Parker just dusts him off, bro, and immediately stacks him. And it's a 35-yard game, bro.
I'm gonna go back and look again at the all 22 on that play.
No.
Yeah,
he's right. What happened?
You do.
I remember the play. What happened was Gilmore was about 10 yards off the line of scrimmage. And the first move of Gilmore was towards the line of scrimmage when the ball hiked, and Devontae Parker was straight up speed. Again, against Stephon Gilmore gambling, Devontae Parker just running straight up the field.
I'm talking about no. It was a play. I know what play you're talking about. Is that the opening play?
It was the first play of the game where Parker beat Gilmore. First step was coming towards the line, and he was already beat by Parker. That was on Gilmore. It wasn't like it was a bump and run. He was 10 yards off, but you already beat if you make that first step forward. And it is a go route.
Well,
and that's what got Gilmore.
Parker,
on top of it, here's what bothers me on the play, though. Here's what bothers me on the play. When he did get the step, he got the separation. Well, never mind. I ain't gonna talk about that because the ball wasn't. Fitz didn't throw the ball leading. Honestly, he kind of threw it
he led him towards the sideline.
Towards the sideline on that.
He led him towards the sideline. But that's just one. That's just one of many. Go put that tape on and look at Of the routes that were at Parker's. That's like I said. That's what that game right there. That told me. I said, me and Reza both talked about that. I said, damn, that's the most complete game I've ever seen Devontae Parker play. I mean, every route on the route tree he was putting on full display. Every one of them. And that's against at that year. He was Stephon Gilmore was the best. It was no disputing that. He was the best corner. And look at the corners that Parker routinely beat in 2019. Tre'Davious White. William Jackson III. William Jackson III. Stephon Gilmore. I think, listen, y'all need to just put a little more respect on this man's name. He's a proven playmaker in this league. When else?
I really haven't disrespected Parker at all, bro.
We're not disrespecting him. EM's getting this conversation like it's directly about Parker. It's not directed. This conversation was about, is he really a priority for this team still? That's what this conversation was about.
Well, I must have misinterpreted your message, your underlying message.
Based off of what he does.
You've routinely done that. You disrespected Parker, bro. You and other people in our fan base, bro, and you know it.
Listen, I'm telling you now, anytime somebody is man-to-man jammed up with Parker, putting a face man-to-man just up in his greer, he doesn't have as much success. He's a free runner guy. And that's all. That
would have been legitimate early on in his career.
He's a free runner now.
No, he's not, bro. No. That would have been valid early on in his career. But if you listen to, in years past, since Brian Flores, especially since he's been here, he's talked about how better he's gotten at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, he's gotten better, but once again,
much better.
He's gotten better, but once again, when a corner actually puts his hands on Parker, I ain't talking about 4 yards off and running with them. When you put your hands on Parker, he's not the same guy. That's a fact.
You can make that. You can make that argument about every receiver when you're playing.
But again, that's why if you got the real burners, you put your hand on them and it's 8 feet separation. That's all I'm saying.
If they can win. These smaller guys, what did I talk about Devontae? What was my argument with Devontae Smith coming into this year's draft? His ability, because of lack of size, upper body strength, to get off the line. Okay. If they get off the line, that's a big if. Jalen Waddle, he's got speed, but he's a smaller frame guy. He's going to struggle with press coverage. Will Fuller struggles with press coverage. They're smaller guys.
And here's the difference. All receivers struggle with press coverage, right? But the difference is
not everyone. It just depends on the defensive.
Well, I'm saying, I guess what I'm saying is every receiver has less productivity in bump and run coverage. I'll just put it like that.
It depends on the DB, bro. It depends on the
I'm just saying. It don't matter the DB. You can give me any DB in the league. If you press them versus giving them cushion, they're going to have more success with the cushion. That's just how that works. But what I'm saying to you is, here's the difference. If Waddle wins his battle and Parker wins his battle at the line of scrimmage, you still have a different end result. You got Parker who may get, if him winning his battle.
Now that I agree with. That I agree with, bro.
That's all I'm saying. Parker winning his battle at the line of scrimmage gives you a 1 or 2 foot separation. Waddle winning his battle at the line of scrimmage.
He's hit his head on the goalpost. He's hit his head on the goalpost. I get that.
And I just pulled up that game, man.
But what I'm saying is, TD.
I just pulled up that game.
Because Parker is so physically imposing, and again, what he struggled with early on, which a lot of receivers do in this league, they struggle with when receivers with bump and run coverage. What did Xavier Howard? Remember the reports a couple of years ago, early on in Parker's career, how those reports about Xavier Howard taking his heart and just punking Parker in camp. That's because when you get up at the line of scrimmage and you're physical with him, he struggled with that. And I agree 100%. But that is not a weakness in his game anymore. It's not.
The thing is, I don't think enough corners are actually putting their hands on Parker anymore. That just doesn't happen much at all anymore.
Because they're scared because they can't win that way with him anymore.
But when I still see them put their hands on him, he's not even an option. The quarterback's not even really going his way unless it's just, again, the 50-50 ball. But here's that Patriots game. Let me see. Let's see if the first play was what we said. I think it's the one where Fitz led him to the sideline. But you see the cushion? I don't know how Stephon Gilmore in this game, if I'm not mistaken, I don't think Stephon Gilmore put his hand on Parker one time off the line of scrimmage.
Well,
the best corner in the league.
Well, you have to ask yourself, TD, right? A man that makes his living at the line of scrimmage with Stephon Gilmore, right? That's his MO. He's one of the best corners in terms of engagement at the line of scrimmage. Why is he playing off coverage?
Because the whole game, they loaded the box the whole game. That's why.
Hang on. Parker is a 4.45 guy now. People forget that. He's a 4.4 guy now. And if you're 4.45 in this league, bro, that's enough speed to at least make corners respect you. Because you ain't a 4.4. Parker ain't a 4.4 guy if you put your hands on him from the beginning. And the only reason in this game that he played a lot of off coverage is because they ran a lot of loaded boxes. I mean, even on this play, you see it. That's half of the defense that you see 6 of them coming, and the other few ain't even shown. They're like sitting 7 and 8. But that's what you're getting. If Gilmore did not fear his speed, he would be closer to him at the line of scrimmage.
No, well, that's you know what? I don't think it had anything to do with fear with Gilmore. I simply think it was just simply schematically what they were trying to do that day. But let's see how many times Gilmore puts his hand. Now that's on Fitz. You got to lead.
I mean, bro, if he leads him, we can say he scores on them because he's got enough of a cushion.
I don't know about score. I don't know about score.
Well, maybe not score. Maybe not score. But it's a significantly larger game if Fitz leads him vertically as opposed to lead him towards the sideline.
And here's my deal: does Fitz but Fitz also has to throw it to the sideline because he's playing against Gilmore. He wants to make sure only Parker can get it too. I mean, you got to think about that. But at the same token, if this was Waddle, would you see that close of coverage? Off the line of scrimmage, untouched.
I'm not disputing that, TD. I never said I'm not disputing that.
No, I'm just saying. I'm
not disputing that. I understand, bro. You gonna get that man's channel flag, bro.
What TD was talking about earlier was just moving on.
TD, you better turn that off, bro. You get that man flag, bro.
Nah, I know what I'm doing. He's blocking this NFL logo up there. It's really those logos that get you flagged.
Oh, okay.
It's the NFL logo right up here.
So what TD was talking about earlier was guys that separate opposed to jump ball guys like Parker. That's what we were talking about. But it's still from if we'd be able to do without Parker. Me personally, I'm not comfortable with it because he was our most consistent wide receiver. You know what I mean?
He's a playmaker, and it's not, bro. He's a playmaker, a proven commodity in this league. Why would you want to take away proven weaponry from Tua? Why would you want to do that?
This is what I'm talking about. The very first play in the game, he get his hands on him. Hands on, finally. No bueno. This is what I consistently see.
That's not relative to Devontae Parker, did
No, yes it is. No, that's my whole thing, man. That's my whole thing. That's the whole point.
So you don't think Waddle's gonna struggle when these dudes get their hands on him like that?
It's fine, but all I'm saying to you is when he does,
go pull up Will Fuller footage when they get their hands on him like that.
When he does get free,
and you're talking about the best in the league, the best of the best in the league.
When he does get free, it's a whole different result. Look at all this cushion.
Okay, all right. I'm just saying. Listen. I'm just saying. Y'all, I'm just saying, listen, Parker is a proven playmaker in this league, period. You might not like how he makes plays, but I don't care how you do it, as long as you're making the plays when your number is called.
Yeah, we were talking about the fact of what assets could be tradable. Yeah, that's why the Devontae Parker conversation got into.
And then we talked about why he's tradable.
We weren't disparaging any of the talents that Parker has. We were talking about what assets were available to be traded
But didn't
X was mentioned.
TD say we're moving away? Didn't TD say we're moving away?
X was mentioned. Devontae Parker was mentioned. Gesicki was mentioned. That's what we were talking about. We weren't talking about or nitpicking on his talents. We were talking about what assets would be tradable and for what.
Because I said right before you came on.
Because from what I heard, I thought I heard him say we're moving away from him. We don't need Parker.
No, my exact words before you came in. Parker can get the 50 high point. He can run the in. He can run the out. He can run the comeback. He can run the deep digs. He can do all of that. But what we're trying to get to, especially for Tua, is seeing wide open guys, getting him comfortable with what he does best. And with that being said, we could move on from Parker. We would be able to survive without him. I'm not sitting here saying Parker ain't I didn't say he's not a good player. He's not valuable. But what he does, he is.
I just don't want to take away proven weapons from Tua. I don't. Not this year.
And bro, here's the point. Here's the point. It ain't look. Parker had no touchdowns, and let me tell you why that's important to me, EM, especially in that Patriots game. This is the stuff I be talking about. We will give it to a guy. We will focus on methodically moving the ball and giving Parker a 30-yard catch on a high point and punting the ball. And that's not on Parker that we punt, but at the same token, when are we going to see the man with 8-foot separation moonwalking into the end zone?
You'll never see that. Not with him, you won't.
With who?
That's not Parker's skill set.
Thank you. And the most dynamic offenses are getting at least one of those a game, and we get done.
TD, what I'm saying is, listen, who's disputing that? Who said, bro, I was saying consistently, like, even before the separation narrative came out, I said the Dolphins need what they're missing, what they're lacking in this offense is a vertical element. I know that. I'm well versed on what this offense needs. But what I'm saying is, I'm not saying that we don't need that. We brought that in to complement what we have. I don't want to subtract from that. You've got a proven commodity there that week to week, when he's healthy, he's proven he can make big plays on the best defenders in this league. Mm-hmm. Can you say that about Jalen Waddle? No. Can you say that about Lynn?
Yeah, I'm not disagreeing about that. I'm not disagreeing with that. I mean, I agree with that. Parker being on this team ain't nothing but a positive. I get that. All we were talking about are who are the guys who could be moved on from. Who are the guys who, honestly, they could actually still operate without. That's all we were talking about. That's all.
I could have sworn I heard you. I could have sworn I had machinery going, so I could, it was a loud noise in the background.
What? That I said we don't need Parker?
Yeah. I thought you said. I heard you say we don't need him. Oh, okay.
You don't need him. You don't need. If you could sit here and say that you could.
That's where I disagree.
No. If you could sit here and admit you agreed that we could move on without him and survive, then you don't need. You would like to have because of the element he brings, but you don't need.
Are you sure? Are you sure though?
You agree.
Hang on. What when you look at the wide receiver room, okay? Mm-hmm. What other player that you can point and say that's a sure thing on this roster, more so than Devontae Parker?
But how sure is he? 2 games giving you 100? The man ain't even hit 1,000.
I'm asking you. I asked you a question.
Nobody other than maybe Will Fuller is sure.
Okay, so for again,
including Parker.
No, listen. Again,
we said
it's a lot.
This man been in the league for 7 years, and we sitting here acting like he done been 1,000-yard receiver more than once.
I'm not. See, there you go, misquoting me, bro. Did I say that? No, I am saying he's the surest bet on that wide because we've seen him. He's got a larger sample size of what he can do in this league. That's all I'm saying. So for you to say, oh, well, we got this rookie, brought him in. We've got an unproven guy in Liv Bowden. We've got unproven with Preston Williams. We got all of these other young players, Albert Wilson's is more of a proven commodity. But and to say that we don't need him,
I agree with you. You know what? You just opened my eyes to something. but it made things worse for me. You're right. Devontae Parker, outside of Albert Wilson, and that's still debatable, is the most proven commodity we have that we know what we're gonna get. But
and
that's sad. That's sad.
Okay, well,
that's sad.
I'm saying in 2021, with so much pressure on this young quarterback, why would you want to take away from, the weapons that he has? It is a proven weapon. And all I'm saying, and again, I get that if you're going to trade him because you need the financial resources, I understand that. But me personally, in this year, in 2021, I would rather you give to every advantage as opposed to take away from it. And I think Parker can be, and if he's on this team, I think he will be he will be a big part of this offense, because if you look at Parker, a lot of people whine about what he wasn't able to do in terms of separation or whatever. A lot of that, quarterbacks consistently thrown in the tight windows. A lot of that is because Parker drew the coverage.
Mm-hmm.
Teams were lining up, they were rolling coverage away because they had nobody else to respect. Nobody could consistently make plays. Now with the vertical elements and the proven play with Will Fuller, Albert Wilson comes back, you can't do that anymore. So Parker will consistently more see one-on-ones now, and teams fear that.
I agree, man. Listen, I'll be live around noon or 1 o'clock. So Triple S Podcast, I see you. I just got your message, and I'm just seeing you. So if you can come back later, we want to have you, bro. If any of y'all want to come back and continue this conversation later, because I was supposed to be gone 30 minutes ago, and I have an appointment in 15 minutes, so I'm tripping. I got to get up out of here, man. This was a great debate, great conversation, man. Listen, for 7 million.
My bad for, like I said, I thought I heard you like you were in one of your rants about Parker.
No. I mean, you add value, Ian. We need our dose of buffoonery every day. So we appreciate you coming.
I hear you, bro. Yeah, that's what's up.
Hey,
well,
but I'm
happy to oblige you, sir.
I'm gonna catch y'all in a little bit, man. Let me go ahead and get my day started. But appreciate y'all. But listen, man, for $7 million a year, again, let's keep Parker. That's fine. We were just going through the list of guys who they could move on from, potentially. And also, don't forget about the receiver that we brought in, averaging 20 yards per catch, Robert. So that guy too, he's gonna be. I think he's really gonna be. Yeah, Robert. I say Robert Foster. I think he's gonna really be a help for us this year. But I got to get out of here. Love y'all. Appreciate y'all. Great show. Hit that like button. We out.
All right, Dwayne. All right, it's fun.